Today we have a very effective tutorial for beginners about OBS, which is this program we have here. I already have it installed. However, if you don't have it installed, I'll leave a link in the description so you can go to my website and download OBS directly. Well, OBS has become really popular because it's used for streaming, meaning live broadcasts on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. Basically, it works everywhere. But not only that, it's also useful for what I'm doing right now, which is recording the PC screen. So let's do a quick overview of everything we have in this program. Alright, so I'm going to remove this here. For you, it will literally show up like this. I already have it somewhat set up, but the idea is that you won't have anything here at all. Alright. And basically, the only thing you'll see is this right here, and it will say scene. That's it, just like that. That's how it will look for you as soon as you start. That's what will show up. So, what are we going to do first of all? What's the first step? Let's say we want to record our desktop. So, what we're going to do here is understand how OBS works. Here in scenes, they are literally scenes. Why do I say this? Because this program, everyone uses it, not just because it's free, but because it's really well organized. Everything is set up in a way that makes it super easy for us to understand. So scenes are literally when we switch. Don't think of them so much as scenes, but more like stages, moving from one stage to another. So in one scene we might want to have our camera. In another scene we might want to show only the desktop. In another scene, I don't know, maybe we're playing a video game. And in another scene we have a PowerPoint presentation. That's what scenes are for. Because, well, if we try to do everything in just one, we won't be able to, since in a single scene we can only assign one thing. So here, to start, we have this scene and I'm going to add a second scene, which is as simple as clicking the mouse. And now we have a scene here. I'm going to name it Scene 2. Well, it says that name is already in use, so I'll name it Scene 4, and that's it. There it is. We have scene, and Scene 4. So, in the scene, for us to be able to add things that are visible, this is very important. This black box you see here is the preview of what will appear in the video. So, everything you see in this box is what will show up if we start recording or streaming. So, to add something, we come here where it says sources. So, the scene itself is one thing, and the sources are what go inside the scene. So, we're going to click the plus sign here, and everything will show up. The good thing is that it's very straightforward. For example, audio input capture, game capture, screen capture. The name that appears is exactly what you can do with whatever you add. So in this case, what I want to do is, let's say, record this screen that you're seeing right now, this very screen. So what I'm going to do is select screen capture, and this window will pop up. I click create new, or I can change the name if I want. I'm going to name it screen 1, in case you have multiple screens. In my case, I have 2, so I'll use screen 1 to tell them apart, and then I click OK. And here, basically, my screen appears. So let's say you're seeing it duplicated. And here where it says, let's zoom in. Here where it says capture method, leave it on automatic. Don't select either of these two options. And for screen, choose screen 1, screen 2, depending on which screen you want to record. And cursor capture is for, if you see this little white arrow moving around, it's so that it shows up. If I turn that off, if I start recording, the cursor won't be visible. I like having it visible, so I leave it enabled. But if you're going to record video games, it's better not to show it because, let's say, it can be distracting. You can turn it off there. And you just click accept. So, like I was saying, this here is the preview of what we're doing. So everything I do or put inside this box will show up in the recording I make. Alright, so now we have this set up. If we click the plus sign again, we have more options. Like I was saying, audio input capture. If you want, we can go through all of them one by one. Here, you just click accept. And audio input capture means the microphone we want to select. This is more of an advanced setting, for example, if we want to do some mixing or use different microphones. But in our case, we're just going to use it in the basic way. Then, if we click the plus sign again, we also have the option for game capture. Just like it sounds, this is simply for recording our video games. Next, under the plus sign, we also have screen capture, which is what we just used and what you see in the background. Now, there's something very important that I haven't explained yet. There are some little eye icons here. These eyes are for when we don't want to delete the source directly. What we can do is simply hide it. So if I don't want that screen to show up in the background anymore because maybe it's distracting us, I just click the eye and that's it. And if I want it to show up again, I just click it again and it comes back. But in this case, I'm going to disable it. We can keep going here with audio output capture. Honestly, this one isn't very important either. Window capture is very similar to screen capture. The difference is that with this one, we're only going to capture a single window. That is, if we capture our screen, you can see absolutely everything. You can see my taskbar, and if I open the browser, you'll be able to see it. But if I choose window capture and select just one window, no matter how many things I open, you'll only be able to see the window I picked. So if I choose the browser, then only the browser will be visible. Next, over here we have video capture device. This refers to, let me quickly switch to the screen here. This refers to the webcam, or well, in this case my webcam isn't showing up, but you just need to connect your camera, plug it into your computer, and it will show up here under devices. You select the device, and it will appear automatically, so you can also include your face in the video. This is something a lot of people are looking for, and not everyone knows how to, well, set up their camera so you can see the screen and your face at the same time. Let me show you an example. Like I said, I'm going to put my face here so you can see me. There's my face. So now I'm going to, this is really intuitive. You just use the points on each corner to make it smaller, like this, just like that. And let's say I'm going to make a video where I want my face to appear and I want everyone to see what I'm doing. So I enable, don't forget, using the little eye icon, I enable the screen, and now everyone can see what I'm doing. So if I move this over here, just so you don't get confused, basically I'm making a video, so to speak. So now we can remove this. This is, let's say, something a lot of people are looking for. Then we can continue here to add scenes, which is a scene within another scene. This is already something more in depth, if you want to go there. Like I said, this tutorial is for beginners. If you want a more advanced tutorial, just let me know and I'll make one. But let's say I'm not going to explain this part because this is for when you want to create effects within the same scene. In other words, having a scene inside another scene. And that's already more advanced configuration, and you'll probably get confused if I explain too much. So honestly, the scene thing isn't really that important if what we want are basic videos or basic streams. Next, VLC video source and media source. Both are for adding content. As it says, video source is to add a video while we're recording, so we can simply show a video. And with media source, we can show a photo we want, a GIF, we can put it there. The same goes for image gallery and image. And here in browser, if we click accept, the following appears, which is like adding a URL, the width, the height. This is useful for several things. Mainly it's for, there are some, how can I put it, like plugins that we can use for OBS that will add certain features for us. So I don't know, there's one, just to give you a random example, of a little smiling face that jumps all over the screen. So instead of adding that in post-production, if you don't want to edit anything at all, you can simply add it using this browser source. But you can look that up online if you want to add those kinds of effects. Alright, so that's basically what you need to add to your scene, record, and all that stuff. Now, to set up your OBS correctly, over here on the right side we have something called controls. In controls, we have start streaming, start recording, start virtual camera, studio mode, settings, and exit. Just to quickly explain studio mode, it gives us a more advanced way to view things. I don't know if you've ever given PowerPoint presentations, just to be redundant, but there's a way to set it as a presenter view and a way as an audience view. So, the presenter can see notes and texts that the audience can't see. That's how this works. But honestly, you don't really need to use it, because if we're just going to record basic videos, there's no need to use studio mode. Now, here in start recording, literally, if we click start recording, it will begin recording the video. But before that, it's important to come here where it says settings. This tab will open up for us. Honestly, this general tab isn't very important. We don't need to configure anything here. The stream section is important if we want to broadcast on Twitch, YouTube, or any other site, but that would be a different tutorial. Here in output is what matters. Why? Because we have the recording path, meaning where we want the videos to be saved, since a lot of people record and stop the recording and then say, well, where did my video go? So here you can select the folder. I'm going to leave it as it is. Here, for recording quality, leave it on high quality, medium file size. For recording format, choose MP4 because it's the most compatible format. You might have it set to NOV, but NOV is a file that, well, let's say, isn't as compatible with everything, or you might also have it set to MKV. What's good about MKV is that if your PC suddenly shuts down, if OBS closes, or if something happens to your computer, the file is automatically saved and there's no problem. But if that happens with an MP4 file, the file ends up corrupted and you won't be able to edit it, watch it, or do anything with that file. But still, in terms of compatibility, MP4 is better. And then for encoder, here, if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, you'll see this option, Hardware and Sync. If you have it, enable it. If not, enable this X260 for software option, this one here. If you have, well, choose the one that doesn't say low CPU usage, just the regular one. But if your PC is really slow, like if you have a laptop without much RAM and so on, use this one here so it doesn't run so slowly. If you notice that when you start recording, like when you click here where it says start recording, and down here on the bottom left it shows something like the PC is using too many resources or something like that, stop the recording, go to settings, then go to output, and instead of recording quality set to high quality, change it to same as stream. So what we're going to do here is set it to same as stream, which means it's using the configuration from up above. And here we can adjust something called the video bitrate. What does this mean? It means that normally, if we set it to where I mentioned before, high quality, medium file size, it records at about 9,000 or 10,000 bitrate. So if we set it to same as stream, we can configure how much we want here. So I can set it to 1,000, 2,000. Obviously, the lower you set it, the more pixelated the video will look, but it will use fewer PC resources, so you will have to be constantly testing. The recommended setting is as it is, at 2,500. If you're just going to record your PC, like if you're just recording your desktop screen and there's not much movement. But if you're going to record video games, you do need to increase it, because when there's a lot of movement, the video tends to get pixelated. Now, here in the audio section, you can just leave it as it is. This doesn't really have much of an impact either. The only thing you might want to do here is, for desktop audio, select your speakers, and for audio device, here under microphone, select your microphone. Now, in the video section, this is also very important, the resolution. A lot of people ask, but why, if I'm recording here with the best output quality and all that, does my video come out so small? Well, it's because your base resolution here is set to something small. So, what you need to do is select the highest percentage or value that appears for you. In my case, I have two options, 1280 by 720 and 1920 by 1080. Obviously, the highest one is the one up here, so I'm going to select that one. And it's important that sometimes you'll see resolutions where the aspect ratio is 16/4 or something like that. The important thing is that it should always be 16 by 9. In other words, it should be 16 to 2.9. Why? I know this sounds really technical, but basically, this is the standard format for everything. I mean, whenever you watch a video, when you watch television, or when you watch videos on your phone, they're all in a 16 by 9 format. I mean, when you watch videos on YouTube, specifically. If you watch videos on TikTok, well, that's a different aspect ratio. But in this case, for videos, for YouTube videos from our PC, for gaming and so on, the best thing is always to have the aspect ratio set to 16 by 9. Then, for output resolution scaling, just leave it at 1920 by 1080. In other words, just leave it as is. Also, I don't recommend setting it to one value here and then scaling it here, because it will end up looking pixelated. And here, for the scaling filter, leave it on bicubic. In case, let's say you have a good PC. If you don't have a good PC, set it to bilinear, which says faster. Leave it there in case your PC starts to slow down when you're recording. And if not, if you have a super mega high-end PC and you always want the best possible quality, set it to Lanczos. I leave it on bicubic because it's kind of the middle ground. And for common FPS values, I could explain this technically, but you can record at 30 or 60. There's not much difference. It's the same thing. If you have a slow PC, don't record at 60, record at 30. You really won't notice much difference if your PC is slow. But if you always want the best, record at 60. Or if you have monitors with higher refresh rates like 144 or 240 Hz, set it to maximum. If not, don't try to do this because your recording will freeze up. In shortcuts, here we can simply assign them. As you can see, here are the buttons to start streaming and start recording. But if we don't want that and just want to start with the press of a button, we can select it here. Here we can set a SH a shortcut like Alt+1, Alt+2 if we want to start recording, and just by pressing that, the recording will start. Here in Advanced, under Process Priority, It's basically the priority given to OBS. I don't recommend increasing it because honestly, it can end up using too many resources and make your PC really slow. So I leave it on normal. For render, select Direct 3D11, color format NB12, color space 709, and color range on partial. Don't set it to full. And here, this is if you want to, let's say, give your files the default name. In this case, any file you record will always be saved in this way. So first, it will record the year. That is, it will first show the year it was recorded, then the month, and then the day. And if anything, it also adds the time and, well, more details. But you can change this and have each video show just the day, like the number 11, the number 10, depending on the day you recorded. That part is entirely up to you. And finally, in the audio mixer, let's say this is the most basic part. You'll find the desktop audio section and the microphone section here. So what happens here? If I want to lower the volume of my microphone, as you can see from the sound waves, that's me speaking right now. If I want to lower the volume, all I have to do is move this line down, and that will automatically lower the microphone volume. You won't notice it because I'm recording with another program, not with OBS. And the desktop audio is literally the audio from your desktop. That means if you're watching a YouTube video, the audio will show up here. But if you notice that, for example, the YouTube video is louder than your voice and you want your voice to be heard more, just lower this, and the lines will guide you. Right now, I don't have any video playing, but if I did, you would see it moving here. And if you see that the line is higher than the line for my voice, you just lower it until you think it sounds right, and that's it. Now, up here we have something else. File, Edit, View, Profile. Let's take a quick look at this. In File, we have the option to show recordings. That means as soon as we click there, the folder with our videos will pop up. Convert recordings. This is in case you chose the MKV format at the end. You select that format, and then you can convert it to MP4 right from the same program. You just click there, select the MKV file, convert it to MP4, and that's it. Here, Settings takes us to the same folder, the same window we were just in. Show More Advanced Configuration folder. Profile folder. This is in case you want to share with other people or if you have different work profiles. In other words, imagine you have your professional work profile where you only record your screen with presentations, and that's it. But you also have another profile. Let's say you stream on Twitch. So you have another configured profile, and each profile has its own settings. That's what this is for. Then in Edit we have, well, Ctrl-Z and Ctrl-Shift-Z, which are for undo and redo. This was added recently, it wasn't there before. And that's literally what it is. I think everyone knows about it. If you delete something and, let's say you made a mistake, you just press Ctrl-Z and that's it. We have the copy option in case, let's say, we add an image and want to duplicate it. Copy filters to transform here. This is already a bit more advanced. If we have a camera set up there, we can just select rotate horizontally so the camera flips horizontally. And well, here we also have advanced 2D properties, but that's another topic. Then in View, it's for what we can visualize. So everything that's enabled is what we're seeing here in the panels, which are the scenes, the sources. If I remove these scenes, they'll disappear from here, as you can see. And if I put them back, they simply reappear there. In other words, this interface is completely customizable. If you want to add something, remove it. If they want to put something, they put it, and it's easy. Then, the scene collection is the same as right-clicking here and adding. So let's say it's a bit repetitive, but it's for adding a new scene, duplicating a scene, and so on. Here in Tools, we have several options, but honestly, nobody really uses them in depth unless you're already familiar with OBS, because this is more advanced stuff. For example, if we want to add real-time subtitles, we can do it, but this feature is still experimental, so the transcription might not be very accurate. And the help section is basically to check the version or see if there are any updates. If I click here, it tells me there are no updates. And that's it. At this point, it's time to hit start recording. We start it, record everything we want, and that's all. And well, for those who have questions, if we start recording, obviously the important thing is to minimize this, so the program stays running in the background and we can start showing things. Let's say I want to show you my desktop. Hello, here it is. Just like that. Done. I finished my video. I open it, click stop recording, and then I can go to File and Show Recordings. It opens my recordings folder, and there I can view the final work. And that would be all.